There it is. I'm in the zone, man. Hey, everybody. I am Dean Packard, the principal of Charleston. Oh, I said Charleston Middle School. That was a slip. Bay Path Regional Vocational Technical High School. And I'm here today with Coach Schulman from our girls varsity basketball program. And Coach, it's so good to have you on here today. Your girls have done amazing things since day one. And I wanted to make sure I had an opportunity just to kind of unpack all this excitement around this year's buzz. So first and foremost, thanks for joining me. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Dean. Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it, man. I'll tell you, you're coming off of what I would consider probably a couple of really tough games. So I'm sure your mind is probably caught up in those last two games. But I'm going to tell you something right out of the chute as the building principal here at Bay Path. And I'm sorry about that slip again. That Charlton Middle School thing was in my head for a long time. But I just want to talk a little bit about, what you brought to the table and how you brought this group of girls together. They are doing so well on so many fronts, and you're this close. And, before we go down that road, let's just talk about the season and the expectations you had coming in. How did you feel coming in? New coach here at Bay Path, not a new coach to the game of basketball. I've watched you over time do some amazing things with kids, but we are super lucky to have you on our coaching staff up here. So talk a little bit about that transition into this role.
Yeah, well, thanks for those words, Dean. Yeah, as a new coach coming in, obviously talking to the players, the first thing that it's going to happen is things are going to be done differently than what they've used to in the last couple of years. Even practice schedules or new sets, new schemes, different philosophies around defense, transition. All those things were going to be somewhat different. We sat down as a team right from the beginning and talked about what some of our goals we'd like to accomplish for this year, especially since they had been through some of these last year or the year before. But we actually wrote down like 4 goals. And I'm just talking on the court, winning and where we were going to. Not, we always want to, have some fun and help the girls learn some life lessons, that kind of stuff, which they all have. But we wanted to be able to win our league. We wanted to qualify for the Clark tournament, the vocational tournament, and the state tournament. And I'm happy to say we've actually accomplished all 4 of those. Now, that doesn't mean the work is done, but they've been extremely excited. I couldn't be more proud of these girls, to be honest with you. They have been fantastic from day one. They've bought in. They've worked hard at every practice. What we might change from game to game, they've adjusted. Even in games, we've adjusted. It's sometimes they've kind of amazed me. I'm not sure I expected for them to be as accomplished as what we did, because we had a pretty tough. Our schedule was a lot tougher this year, also. Moving up from Division 4 to Division 2, we had scheduled some tougher opponents, Division 1 opponents, Division 2 opponents, and we have hung with all those games. So I'm thrilled with what they've done.
And as you should be. And what I was going to say, and I just stopped for a second, wearing your shoes for a long time and being in the coaching world, some coaches might be happy of hitting 1 out of the 4 goals. I mean, you hit them all. You got an inside the park home run. You're hitting every base, and you know what? I mean, that says a lot about the commitment of your players, the buy-in that you've created for the strategies and schemes that you believe in, basketball philosophy. Those things are hard sometimes to create that connection, but you came in and did it seamlessly, and you couldn't do it without players that have that ability to want to be coached. So let's talk a little bit about your team. Let's just talk about, and again, I preach team all the time. I don't care if you're the first person or the last person on the team, everybody has a role. Great teams understand their roles and they fill them well. So talk a little bit about your players, your mix, and things of that nature.
Yeah, just like you said, we one of the things I did preach to the players right from the start is, not everybody, for them to pick something that they think that they can really be good at or that they can help the team. Now, that could be defense, that could be rebounding, that could be 3-point shooting, and really try to focus on what you think is something that that you can be good at. And you're right. I mean, it's a whole team. I talk about this a lot. It's not all about scoring. Uh, Matter of fact, um, we have 5 players on our team that average between 5 and 11 points. So we don't have that one superstar that might be scoring 20 points a game on this team. Multiple times we've had different people leading the team in scoring. So they've all bought into that. We have some players who are defensive specialists and some players who are a little bit more scorers. But just some of the players, Allie Welton is a key player for us. She does lead us in scoring, but she does so much more than that. She sees the floor. She can drive to the basket. She has a quick release. Like if we need a shot, at the end of a quarter or something with someone with a quick release, we usually design something for her. Um, so she's been fantastic. Her basketball IQ, again, not I had never coached her before. Her basketball IQ has been great. So she's a key player. I mean, we have a bunch of key players. Like I said, you don't have five players averaging between 5 and 11 without them all being key. But Kendall Bond, she plays center for us, and almost every single night she's undersized. She's really a forward that has to play center because we don't have a lot of height. So I call her our point forward. Sees the floor great. Matter of fact, she sees the floor so good and can handle the ball. When teams press us, she takes the ball out of bounds because I can trust that the ball goes back to her. She makes the right play. So she's been super. She's probably averaging 9 points a game and 9 rebounds or something like that. Um, and both of those are only juniors. Annika Ferrantino is our best defensive player. Really gritty, annoys players, gets right up in on you, and can score. She can take the ball to the basket. She's been fantastic, and couldn't be happy with how she's playing. And then we got other players. Courtney Adams, I tell you, she's the smallest. Well, I think she's the smallest girl on the team, but I tell you, her defense is incredible. I've been saying that, and it's come on as the season's gone on. She's taken that to heart. She's out there covering everybody's. Usually we actually have them on like one of their top 3-point shooters on the other team. It's like we challenge her not to let them shoot threes, and she's right up at it. And other players like Hannah Cavan, she's been great. She's a good rebounder. Gabby LePan is a shooter. Maggie Mullally has come in and gave us some good minutes throughout the season also as a center. Matter of fact, Maggie in the Northbridge Clark game, Kendall was in foul trouble. Maggie had to probably play, 60-70% of the game and did awesome. Nolani Perez is another captain of ours. She comes off the bench, provides good defense, and is solid. So really up and down the roster, I am thrilled with every kid on this team.
Randy, I've known you a long time. And one of the two things you said to me that I just smiled about, you talked about basketball IQ. You can't teach basketball IQ. And when you have a few players that get the game and they become thinkers on the court, all of a sudden it makes your job as a coach a little bit easier. But like I said, I've known you a long time, and I think that you like to create chaos. You like to create a little opportunity to create offense through your defense, and whether that's extending the defensive pressure out there, and that just creates opportunities for kids. And I love that about what you do and how you bring it. But I think one of the biggest things I really enjoy watching about you is that you're a instructional coach on the sideline. You've got things in perspective. You're teaching kids the little things. And by doing that, you create space for them to be the players that they need to be. And they're not looking over their shoulder. You're enjoying the process. And, I love that. So your schemes are outstanding. Talk a little bit about what you and John together, you guys have had an opportunity to be together for a while now, and how John creates that complement to your coaching staff.
Oh, it's been great having John because John, he understands the game. He's got a lot of experience. When we talk about our philosophy or what our scheme for this game might be, we're always in sync. And it just, for me, there's a couple things. One, at practice, a lot of times, you don't get a lot of practice time. So a lot of times you want to take as much advantage of the gym time as you have. So sometimes if we're going over something, we can split the team up. And I know John knows exactly what we're talking about down that end, and I got this end, right? And then on the game situation, he's talking to the players. Well, here's what we didn't do as they come in and out of the game. And a lot of times John will come over to me and he'll whisper something in my ear about, what about this? Or they're doing this. And it's just great to have another basketball mind with a lot of experience that can help our team. Because, it's tough for one person. Like you've coached also. When I'm coaching, I'm focused on the game. I might not always have times to turn around and talk to somebody on the bench for 2 or 3 minutes, So, but going back to the other thing, I am a defensive guy. I'm in the camp that you create offense through your defense, especially in girls basketball. In girls basketball, you don't post up as much like in boys or men's basketball. So we know that we need to score a certain amount of points on defense. We're big in transition. We practice transition every single game, every single practice. We have at least one transition drill that we're practicing, getting the ball out. And really, that's what it comes down to sometimes. Sometimes the difference in our wins and losses is how much we're able to score in transition.
I love that you say that. Primary, secondary, set the girls up, balance the floor, create space, and create shot opportunities. Again, you're not the biggest team out there, but you're pesky and you're relentless. And if you do that, guess what? Wins do take care of themselves. It's evident with 14-6 at this point in time. And you and I both know from the coaching world, 14-6 could easily be 18-2 right now, with a couple of bounces in a couple of different ways, but you put the girls in a position to be successful. And that's what coaching is all about. So kudos to both you and John. Talk a little bit about the vocational tournament coming up. That's always a fun time here at Bay Path. Our football team experienced a state championship on the vocational end. What are your thoughts going into the tournament?
Well, there's 4 teams left from the vocational state tournament. I was extremely happy that we would get the number 1 seed because that means we get to host the game. Last year, I think they went on the road for their first game. So we have that advantage. We're playing Lynn Vocational. To be honest, I don't really know much about Lynn Vocational right now. I actually have been able to get some film on them, believe it or not. But I was so focused on the Clark tournament. I'll start looking at that today and tonight to go over what our game plan will be. So we got them in the first round. I know they're 14-6 also. And I think all the teams in the vocational tournament at this point, they're all good teams. BVT will be playing Southeastern. I know BVT. We've beat BVT in overtime this year. Well, we know. I mean, that's the only team we know out of the other 3 teams in the tournament. So we know if we get them if we should win in the semis and get them in the finals, that's going to be a battle. So the girls are excited. I mean, they really want this, and I don't know this for sure, but one of the girls asked if the Bay Path girls have ever even won the vocational tournament, and I said I don't know.
That's a great question. I couldn't tell you that answer.
Yeah, nobody knows. I think I asked Rick, and if it has, it was long enough ago that nobody knows.
Sure.
So we're looking forward. We got our first game Friday. Like I said, we got a home game, and hopefully we can change things around. We've lost 4 in a row, but honestly, 4 great games. Matter of fact, we lost to Northbridge in the Clark tournament, and they're out in the finals.
You close the gap every game against Northbridge. So think about it for a second. That's a big thing to make those adjustments and adapt and over time and have the girls respond the way they did. And you're right. You know what? They're in the finals now. That's how close. When I said you're this close, man, you're this close. And that's kudos to the hard work of the girls and what you guys put together as a coaching staff. Quick question: state tournament coming up. Obviously, your viewpoints on that as well. What are you thinking?
It's going to be tough. We're in Division II, so we're bumped up, right, from what we have previously been at. We will probably be, somewhere like a 35 or 36 seed, playing a 27 or 28 seed in the preliminary round. We know every game is going to be tough. Our goal, was to get into the tournament. A little gravy on that would be if we could win at least a first round game. And that would be awesome. Again, we have no idea. We'll find out on Friday who we're playing. We know we'll be on the road, but the girls are excited. The girls are really excited about trying to, to win in the vocation tournament, and then, maybe pull a little upset, maybe catch somebody by surprise in the state tournament. So it's a great opportunity for them just to have.
Well, you guys have created a nice buzz around the school about, about basketball, girls basketball, and putting them back on the map where they belong. And again, you have a group of girls that are fighting hard, doing all the little things that you ask. That's just so cool to watch. I look forward to Friday night. I will be there. As you know, I'm a high school official just like you. Sometimes I'm pulled in a lot of different directions, but it's not that I never want to see the success that you're having, because you're doing absolutely great things, and got a lot of people keep me apprised on what's going on the floor. And kudos to you, man. We're super jacked and stoked that you and John are at the helm and doing the things that you're doing. So thank you so much for all of that.
No, thank you, Dean. Thank you for your support and for the AD Rick support. I may be the coach, but it starts from the support starts a lot higher up.
It's a culture we're trying to build, and
right.
guys like you did that. So hey, what time are we on Friday night? Listen up, guys.
5:30.
5:30 Friday night at Packard. First round of the vocational tournament. Can't wait to be there. Come get your seat at the 50-yard line, right in the middle, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Coach Schulman, thank you very much. And just remember one more thing very quickly. What you do every single day plays a difference for those girls. So keep on rocking it. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.